Put down that remote control. Stop that channel surfing. It is the longest running show about gays and lesbians in the history of television. It is NightScene. Hi, welcome to NightScene. I'm Lanny Swerdlow, producer, director, editor, chief bottle washer, everyone except the camera person. You don't see him. He's my boyfriend, Victor Michelle. He's behind the camera right now. Hi, Victor. Anyway, we'd like to welcome you to tonight's NightScene. We've got a great show for you, and we're going to get right into it. We've been doing an interview for the past 3 weeks, I believe, with Ole Larson, also known as Lady O. Last week, we did his show number that he did in the 1998 Rosebud and Thorn pageant. Well, now tonight we're going to talk about what he's been doing a little more currently with the Imperial Rose Court. That's the over 21 drag queen court. So let's get back to Lady O. Miss Gay Portland.
Miss Gay Portland, yeah. It was 5 months after I'd stepped down from Rosebud that I did go for Miss Gay Portland, and basically I had been getting involved more with the ISRC and what they do.
That's the Rose Court.
The Imperial Sovereign Rose Court of Portland, and I was very intrigued by the whole idea of raising money for charities and for people who, and organizations who couldn't by themselves do it. Mm-hmm. I thought that was very, very good, and I checked into that, and I found out that there was basically a continuation of what I'd been doing, and with Rosebud, and I was like, okay, well, let's go for this, and went for Miss Gay Portland and did the campaigning and the whole 9 yards, and actually got it, which was very odd for me to understand how I could, being 1 year out of the starting gates.
Do you think having been Rosebud helped a bit?
I do. I think that helped myself. It helped with me, but also with other people. I'd had the exposure because I was 21. People knew that I was Rosebud, who was 21. People knew me, that I had held a title and had, spent a year at a title. So they pretty much, some people figured, oh, she can do it again. And I think also people thought she's a good performer. She's gonna, turn a lot of eyes, make a lot of heads turn, and hopefully through her abilities and through her performance, she can, raise money so that we can donate that. I'm sure all that went through people's heads while they were watching the campaign week and the years before and that night of the pageant. And I ended up getting it.
Well, now, I'm sure you had a good time. I mean, you did a lot that year, but what do you see the difference between being Miss Gay Portland, being Rosebud? What were the differences besides, of course, going to the bars and being at
Oh, my goodness, responsibility. Responsibility was, responsibility and accountability. Rosebud was a lot of fun, and it was a lot about learning about me, and learning about interaction with people in one setting. Being Miss Gay Portland, on the other hand, was it was about learning how to interact on a grand scale, learning about organizations, about raising money for organizations and peoples and charities that couldn't, nonprofit organizations, I should specify, and charities that couldn't do that themselves. PWA, Esther's Pantry, scholarship funds also.
Yeah, I always thought the Rose Court was kind of like the gay equivalent of the Shriners. They also dress up in these elaborate costumes and all this kind of stuff and raise good money for a lot of good organizations. And that's what the Rose Court does. They have a lot of fun, just like the Shriners.
Deep down, the Rose Court is good.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It is good.
Absolutely.
So.
I mean, not only that. I mean, they were out and open when most of these politically correct people who were still in the closet. I mean, they were one of the first groups that really opened about being gay. And,
yes.
You always have to keep reminding people that it was drag queens that would start a Stonewall. So if it wasn't
That's
for
true.
people like the court and this kind of stuff, we'd probably still be in the dark ages.
True.
They dragged all these other people screaming out of their closets.
True. It was for the best, though. For the
Yeah.
best. So.
Well, we've kind of come up now to the current, and so you stepped down as Miss Gay Portland, and now you're going to be moving up to Seattle, and you're going to be going to school there and that kind of stuff. Do you intend to get involved with their court up there? and stuff?
I will be involved with the court. I don't know about about going for any per se court titles. Being Miss Gay Portland was a learning experience, and it was something that I'll love and always cherish, and the memories and the people that I met. But as far as having another court title, I don't think it's for me. I don't think the title thing is really for me. I will still be active with the Seattle's court. I will still, as much as I can, lend my talents and my abilities and my voice and my hands to whatever is needed to be done to accomplish helping out others. But as far as the tiaras go, I think I'll help other people pin theirs in.
But now, if people come up to Seattle and they want to find you, I mean, where are they most likely to find you? Like, are they going to find you at Neighbors, or walking on Broadway in the Capitol Hill District, or in Volunteer Park?
No, actually, I'm going to be moving up to Capitol Hill, the Capitol Hill area. So I'm going to be up there quite a bit. I'm going to probably, I don't know, get a job at Buffalo Exchange up there or something. I don't know. Viva, what is it, Retro Viva or something like that? Somewhere, hopefully. Get a job somewhere up there. And that's just, for temporary work right now, unless, I was a secretary for a year, and I do have good typing skills and 10-key and...
Well, anybody who lives in Seattle and knows about a secretarial job available in Seattle, we've got a great person here, and he'll dress either way.
Really?
So
Well...
he'll dress for a woman sometimes.
Who knows? Maybe I'll go for La Femme up in Seattle.
There you go. Okay.
If Darcel won't kick me off the stage.
Well, Lady Oli, thank you so much for joining us here on Night Scene. And like I said, if you go to Seattle, check out Neighbors, check out the Broadway and the Capitol Hill District,
See
and
Seattle.
and check out Volunteer Park. Oh, yes, there's a CC Slaughters up in Seattle.
No, it's Seattle's.
CC Seattle, okay.
But it's fabulous.
really nice.
They just like CC Slaughters down here. They serve the strongest drinks.
Oh,
So.
well, Oli knows what's important. Or should I say, Lady O knows what's important. Strong
And
drinks.
good pool. Good pool.
Well, thank you very much. Best of luck. Maybe half a year from now, we might go up to Seattle and do an interview with you and find out what's going on then.
Sounds good.
Well, Lady O, you're a great interview. Thank you so much for joining us here on Night Scene. And now we're going to go to our interview that we were doing last week. If you remember, and I hope you were watching last week, so you will remember, we started a new interview with 3 young men who do drag and were in the Rosebud pageant in 1998. We did an interview with Roulette, Aranya, and Mistress Viridia, actually just known Viridia now, who was Rosebud 21. And we did an interview with all 3 of them, but now we're going to be doing individual interviews. And so here's our first interview with Roulette. Well, now we're going to be able to do just a one-on-one interview together. How do you feel about that?
Fabulous.
Fabulous?
Yes.
Oh, you look fabulous. I love your earrings.
Thank you.
All black. How come?
I own a lot of black. It's slimming.
Slimming. Okay. All right. I won't go any further on that one. Roulette, your real name is Brian.
Brian.
And how long have you been doing this?
Not very long comparatively.
Compared to what? Geologically speaking? That's a joke, dear. Go ahead.
I don't get it. I've only been doing it for about 1.5 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Why'd you start?
And like I originally started for doing it for Halloween, just for fun, and then I did it again and again for Halloween. For like 4 years in a row, I was in drag for Halloween. And the attention you get when you're in drag is amazing.
I've heard that.
powers. You have powers. We won't go into those though.
Why not? What kind of powers?
No, you have to be in drag to learn the powers.
Ah, it's kind of a...
It's like an initiation.
So What you're saying, if a member of our viewing audience here wants to find out what it's like, they've got to do it themselves.
Yes.
You can't describe it.
I can, but I won't.
You won't, okay. All right, well, that's fair enough. Now, you said you've been doing it for 4 years. I mean, were you doing drag before you came out?
Oh, no.
When did you come out?
Well, sort of. Like, when I was little, when I was little, I used to put on my mom's little high heels, and she had this fuzzy purple bathrobe that was
How little was
short.
this, like 5, 6, 7, 8?
Probably 6, 7.
And you used to put on these little fuzzy?
Yeah, she had little high heels that I used to slip my feet into, and like put on this purple fuzzy bathrobe. And I would pull a T-shirt up over my head so it looked like I had hair, flip it back and forth, and that's where it began. I mean, I've always been doing it. I used to tie a little blanket around my waist.
Wait a minute, you were 6 or 7, and you always were doing. How often would you do this when you were 6 or 7 or 8 years old? I mean, how many times a year would you do this?
Oh, I don't know.
You lost count. What did your folks say?
My folks were in denial. I mean, I was a flaming little homo when I was younger. I played with Barbies and She-Ra dolls, and it was just a grand old time.
Uh-huh. And they handled that? I mean, or they just would try to ignore it?
Not really either. They didn't really ignore it. I mean, how could they? But it was a lot of denial. I mean, they didn't really know what was going on. I mean, obviously, I didn't get the Barbie dolls they didn't come out of nowhere. So, I mean, they were bought for me.
Your parents bought you Barbie dolls?
Yes.
But they didn't know. They didn't buy you Ken dolls. They bought you Ken too.
Well, no, I never had a Ken doll.
Just Barbie.
Just Barbie.
How many Barbies?
Oh, I don't remember. It's been a long time. But I had a lot. And I used to like play with all the little neighbor girls and my brother and I would play G.I. Joes and Transformers and stuff, and I was always be the girl ones, and he would be the guy ones, and we'd beat each other up.
Really?
Oh yeah. They'd have G.I. Joe sex, and
How did your friends treat you back then? I mean, did you have problems with the other boys?
my friends weren't boys. I was always
Girls.
yeah, with always the little girls in the neighborhood, and I used to play with dolls.
And how were things in school? I mean, did you have problems because of this in school?
Not really. I didn't really ever have problems in school. I mean, I did when I was older, but not like when I was younger in school.
Did you realize you were gay, or you just felt this way and you acted it out?
I didn't realize I was gay until probably the end of junior high school, beginning of high school. I had no idea. I didn't even know what it was.
What happened to you that began to make you realize that you were not?
Just realizing what I was feeling and being honest with myself, and I was so afraid of it because my dad was in the Navy for years, and yeah, he was in the military for most of his life, I can't say most of his life, but for 20-some years, and so like I had no idea what was happening, and growing up, I felt so horrible, like knowing that, oh my God, what am I thinking about in my mind, what's going on?
You felt horrible about the fact that you were attracted to guys?
Yes. Yeah.
But you didn't feel horrible about the fact dressing up in women's clothes?
Well, I didn't really do it. I mean, I did it when I was little, but probably probably second grade, I probably stopped doing it.
Oh.
And then didn't start doing it again until I started doing it in high school in drag.
I see. And you stopped doing it because?
I don't know. I just stopped doing it.
Just stopped.
It didn't come to mind. I guess I had other things keeping me preoccupied, like sports.
Like sports? Were you in
Yeah.
sports?
I was in a lot of sports.
Like what?
I played baseball, I did track, I wrestled, I did football, I did soccer, I did volleyball. I was...
On the boys' team?
Oh, yeah.
On the boys.
Oh, yeah.
That's really butch.
Go figure.
Yeah, I know. That's really kind of interesting. So you were very much the jock.
I did it. I wasn't ever really good at them, but I always had fun. And, I never got any crap because I was always playing sports.
Well, okay. He always had fun while he was playing sports with all the boys in school. And so we're going to drop it right here. We're going to get onto that next week. So tune in next week, and we'll learn more about Brian, a.k.a. Roulette, but Roulette came later, about all the boys in all the sports he participated in school. One of the nice things about being a producer and a director of a TV show is that you get things in the mail. Hey, I've got this book in the mail called The Best of Gay Adult Video 1999. It's kind of an interesting book. It's full of a review of the best adult gay videos that came out in 1998, and it's got very interesting categories. It's got best overall, best overseas, best pure sex, best entertainment, best romantic, best erotic, best ethnic, best bisexual, best leather, best uniform, best solo, best special interest, and best porn moments. And it reviews each video and tells you who directed them and who starred them. It's kind of a fun book. I don't know where the heck you get it, but if you're into videos, it's kind of like a Consumer Reports of gay adult videos. You might want to check it out. The Best of Gay Adult Video 1999 by Mickey Ski and the Dirty Dozen. Fun book. Well, now we're going to get to our blasts from the past. And tonight's blast from the past, we go way back in the past again, back to 1989, and NightScene show number 11. Tonight it features a very good friend of mine, someone who has been intimately associated with NightScene from the very beginning, and he was director of NightScene for almost 2 years, and when it was a gay dance show, and he's still very much involved in it, producing special segments every now and then. He's with Portland Cable Access now, where he's a production manager and a facilities manager and crew manager. I don't know, he does a whole bunch of things for Portland Cable Access. It's none other than Gregory Franklin. And besides doing all that video work behind the scenes, he also likes to get in front of the camera, and he's a singer, and a very good singer. So here we are from back in 1989, NightScene number 11, Gregory Franklin.
I love you, baby, that's forever. Even though we may see a little stormy weather, got to keep this ship from capsizing. Got to keep our love light on the rise, yeah, because this time I feel it to the bone, yeah. Got to keep love strong. This time I feel it to the bone. Got to keep love strong. We chose each other out of all the fish in the sea. I cast my net out and I brought your love home to me. Each night I whisper in my talk with God above. I want to thank him for sending me you to love, because this time I feel it to the bone, yeah. Got to keep love strong. This time I feel it to the bone. Got to keep love strong. I know that loving me has sent you through a change or two. Sometimes I wonder how you remain so true. If I forget to tell you, I hope that you can see the feeling in my heart and just how much you mean to me, because this time I feel it to the bone. Got to keep love strong. This time I feel it to the bone. Got to keep love strong. Ba-dee-bop, ba-dee-bop, ba-dee-up, ba-dee-up, ba-da-ba-da, ba-dee-up, ba-da-da. So doobie-doo-bop, shoo-ah-ba-doo-bop-ba-doo. Scoo-doobie-doo-bop, ba-dee-up, ba-da-ba-da, ba-dee-up. Shoo-dee-doo, doobie-doo, ba-ba-ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da- doo 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 bop. Shooty bop ba dee bop ba ba da ba. Scooby doo bop ba ba da. Shooby dooby doo bop ba dee up ba ba da da. So dooby doo bop shoo up a doo up. Scooby Dooby Doo Bop Shoo Abba Dooby Doo Bop Doo Shooby Doo Bop Bop Doody Doo 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 Doo. This time I feel it to the bone. Got to keep love strong. This time I feel it to the bone. Got to keep love strong. I love you, baby, that's forever. Even though we may see a little stormy weather, got to keep this ship from capsizing. Got to keep our love light on the rise, yeah, because this time I feel it to the bone, yeah. Got to keep love strong. This time I feel it to the bone. Got to keep love strong. This time I feel it, this time I feel it, baby. This time I feel it, this time I feel it, baby. This time I feel it, this time I feel it, baby. This time I feel it, this time I feel it, baby. Baby, 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 baby. Feel it to the bone, yeah. This time I feel it to the bone. This time I feel it to the bone. This time I feel it to the bone. This time I feel it to the bone.
Well, Gregory, if you're watching, you probably weren't expecting that. I didn't tell you about this, but there you are. Thank you so much for everything you've done for the show and everything you've done for me. Hey, if you want to do another number again sometime, let me know. You're always welcome on NightScene. And speaking about being welcome on NightScene, it is now time for our continuing interview with Harry Hay, longtime gay political activist who founded the first gay organization, the Manishing Society, back in the early 50s. But here he's talking about what it was like to be gay in the 20s, 30s, and 40s. And now we're talking about life in Hollywood during the 40s. It wasn't nice, it wasn't pretty, but it was certainly exciting. During the 30s and 40s, did a lot of gay people go into marriages with children, this kind of stuff?
Yeah, completely. As a matter of fact, psychiatrists and the marriage manuals, which we used to have in that period, you should read them sometime. Curl your hair. But the thing is that we are just beginning to have psychiatrists or psychotherapists in the early 30s. In the 20s, some translations of the German and the French were appearing in English. Oh God, try reading it sometime. It's so turgid you just can't get through it. And there were not very many practitioners. Practitioners first began to make their appearance in the United States in New York in the early 30s. We don't have any case histories until the Second World War.
Case histories of homosexuals?
Case histories of people being treated for psychiatric things, included in which, of course, are the homosexuals. But they might be 1 in 4 or 1 in 5. But the stories themselves are not on the streets until after in the beginning of the Second World War, they begin to appear.
In the 30s and 40s, when somebody was exposed as a deviant, as a degenerate, what happened to him?
He lost his job. The bosses didn't want people like that on the job. They didn't want that, the business is connected with any of that. The landlords didn't want them in their houses. If you had a finance charge, if you were carrying a finance obligation for your car, you lost that. If you had insurance, you lost that. In other words, you got wiped out. If you were picked up, if you made a pass at somebody, and it turned out to be either a stool pigeon or a blackmailer or a police cop, a police spy, you got hauled in before the court, and you probably, the first time you might get 6 months in the county jail. If you got hauled in the second time, you got a year and a half in the state prison. And when you went to state prison, you were offered one of 2 possible cures: castration or lobotomy. And castration and lobotomy as a cure in the state prisons, here in Oregon as well as in California, were going on in the 60s.
They were lobotomizing and castrating people for being homosexuals,
Right. No, not for being homosexual.
for being degenerate.
For being heteros who are being degenerate. Well, what else are you going to do with a degenerate? You want to drown them? It was kind. You castrated and lobotomized them, and then they come back and be poor, withered creatures within the society. But what else is there?
It's unbelievable. Well, we'll continue with Harry Hay more next time, as we've been doing since we started the new format of the show. But with the new format, you know, I give out a phone number every week, and I ask you to call in with your comments, and a lot of people have been calling in. And right now, I want to play a few of these comments for you.
I think your show is very interesting. I enjoy watching it every Sunday night, but I believe for an interview you should have Alice on there, Lanny. I think she would be a very good person for you. I want to say I miss you at the club, which I do not go. And hi, Victor. Love you guys. Bye.
Well, that was Judy. She's a wonderful person, and she's also lovers with Alice. And I'd love to have Alice on the show, and I'd love to have Judy on the show. So Alice and Judy, come on down sometime. Give me a call. Love to have you on the show. I'm sure the audience would find you two very interesting people to be interviewed.
Hi, my name is Christine. Well, people call me Christine or Christine. But I'm bisexual and I'm looking for a date. And I want to meet you. Number 761-391. Thanks, bye.
Well, Christine, I hope you find it. You said you're bisexual, and I'll have to admit that doubles your chance of getting a date. So try some club. That's always a good choice. And you could try almost any club. After all, you're bisexual.
Well, hello. I am a practicing Nazi, and my fucking mother has seen your show on TV, and I think we need to put an end to all your homosexual acts. Me, I don't give a shit the whole goddamn OCA. I back them 100%. You know, I'm going to shove your rainbow flag right up your goddamn ass. You know, I mean, you can consider this a bomb threat for life, baby, because I think homosexuality has no place in my motherfucking scene. Not NightScene, not nobody's goddamn scene. You get back in the closet, you two-bit nigger queer. Huh? And,
Well, he and his mother watch NightScene. I think that's great. The whole family watches NightScene. Of course, I questioned some of his other values. He seems to have a problem too, not just with gay people, but with other races as well. But I'm not surprised. And he also backs the OCA, and he has problems with races and everything else. I'm not surprised. Well, you and your mother, you keep on watching NightScene. We're glad to have you as viewers. Maybe you'll grow up. Well, that brings us to an end of tonight's show. I hope you've enjoyed it. Once again, if you have a comment you'd like to say about the show, if you'd like to be on the show, or anything, give us a call, 286-1764. 286-1764. It's a 24-hour-a-day and night answering machine, so you can leave a message anytime you feel like calling. Well, thank you for watching NightScene, and like I said before, you have a special person you'd like to meet, invite them over to your house to watch NightScene together. Who knows what will happen after the show is over. Until next week, this is Lanny Swerdlow. Good night.